Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Jane.
So this has been a quarterly meeting that I set on the calendar as an experiment to see if we could just gather to appreciate and thank Baba for his part in our lives, his active role, and just share. There's no real structure to this meeting, so we're kind of feeling our way forward as far as what we want to talk about. So, if anybody would like to start, feel free.
Why don't you start, Angela?
Well, the experience I have of Baba is that the more I spend time thinking about him and contemplating him and thanking him, the more active he is on the one hand, but the more that effort seems the most important thing to be doing at the time. So I think most people see that I'm pretty busy with Baba activities and making Baba things and enjoying Baba creativity and making crafty things and art things and promoting events and pushing people to get together. And so it's been a very busy time, but at the same time, I really feel so motivated, so energized by doing it that my own practice, my own business, I hardly promote, I hardly spend any time, you know. It's like I would just rather be doing Baba work. So I think that ultimately my work, the stuff I do for an income is Baba work in its own way, but yeah, there's nothing as meaningful or as important as spending time thinking about Baba, bringing Baba people together, doing things that bring joy to Baba lovers. Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because I've gotten to the point, and maybe it's a phase, I don't know, but I don't even have that like excitement that the mainstream is finding out about Baba. There was a post I read. Bob Aarons mentioned some radio show that had some mention of Baba. Don't worry, be happy, do your best. I'm like, yeah. So I don't I don't really care that Baba's message be out there to everyone. What I'm really excited about is people who already get Baba come together and talk about it. It's fun. It's like, this is fun. So I think that, at some point those who are new to Baba just have to jump into that. There's there's no real way to make it that you can language it the right way, or just if you would just say it just so they'll become a Baba lover, or you know what I mean, like all those things that, like, what if we did more introduction to Baba, I don't know. I think that you're already essentially already a Baba lover internally, and when you hear his name, that's it, that's all you need. But other than that, I think that essentially Baba Zoom is designed to just bring those who already get it together, so that we can just relax in the environment of not having to dance around the subject. To just really delve in and enjoy it, and be with people who get it, that this is not crazy. And well, anyway, I've rambled on. Jay Baba, anybody else have something?
No, I'll put my 5 cents. Very nice what you said. So provoking. I remember when I when I came back from Baba first time, and he totally. I mean, it might be 3 times, three first times, which were in 1 year or 1.5 year. When I fell in love completely with Baba, and I thought, well, I fell in love completely with Baba. Everyone will fall completely in love with Baba, no problem. So, not happen. So, so I simmered down and I got the point that, well, then actually, one of the things that were bothering me was the pain here in this country, the dual conflict that is so painful. And then I found myself, just going on buses, and while I'm going in the bus, just automatically, I would jab automatically. Like now I have to do it, I have to will it. But at that time it was just automatic, and I would go on the bus, and the Baba's name would be running in my head. And so then I realized that that's all Baba needs. He only needs that his name would be sewn into this area by just saying his name. It would just drop into those roads. People would be driving on these roads, and this name would would be there. So actually, I do feel it's what Baba has been doing in my life, because the kindergarten in my home was in my home, and my home, like every Baba lover's home, was filled with Baba's pictures. And people coming to the kindergarten, they were confronted by Baba's presence, not by any explanations or anything, or didn't ask me. And also very religious people came, and also Muslim people came, and also Christian people came. And not everyone signed up for the kindergarten, but everyone was confronted with that. So I do feel that it was what Baba was doing. He was just sowing those seeds, and you don't know when they'll flower. And you have nothing to do with it. I mean, it's not what we are doing. It's what Baba is doing. So it was beautiful. And in the kindergarten, we did celebrate Baba's birthday with the kids, and I wrote on the parents board, and the parents board, where I always told them what we're doing during this day. So I always told them about this. And when I was silencing in silence day, then they were announced about it. So when it was Mara's birthday, Mani's birthday, we usually celebrate together. So I think that's how Baba does it. It's not what we are doing, it's what he's doing and the way he wants it to be done. And so this tavern that you opened, Angela, in this time is such a lifesaver, such a great lifesaver for me. I don't know about others, because even if I'm really down, because what is going outside is so crazy, so crazy. I mean, the conflict that is now being really, really, this COVID thing is really, how do you call it? Is in a race with what is happening, the conflict, it's getting more crazy. So, and the energies that we have to endure, even if we're not involved in all these things, the energies that our bodies are going through in this sea of energy, of our oneness with everyone, is so strong that when I really get down, I just, and I come into the arti, wow, such a lifesaver. It's such a lifesaver because it lights up the heart, and it just reminds us what is beautiful and what is right, and renews our connection with Baba, because just renewing our connection with Baba is just putting a beam of light over us, and love and sanity within this crazy environment. So what I do find in these 2 years, I mean, it's really crazy, but on the other hand, it's also very focusing. It's also very focusing on what is really important in life, and for all people, for those who believe in Baba or don't believe in Baba. So everyone is more with their family, more with their children, more with less with the world, less with going out, less with just but concentrating on what is important. So I find Baba really bringing me closer and closer, to focus on him and not on anything else. Much on him and my family, which is far away. So, um, so this place is so precious because also when distancing was or is, uh, then we could not we could come here and be with our people who understand us and who are sharing the love with us, and same love with Baba and same understanding, same values and same enjoyment and same excitement, and from all over the world. So we could come and be in company when people could not be in company. So this is such a wondrous place that Baba has opened, and Angela has been the one who through whom it's open, and I'm so I'm so enjoying you, Angela, um, with all that you come up with all the fountainhead of ideas and all the creative things and the shop that you open, and Cassandra that is coming, and all the hosts that are doing, and Rosalie that suddenly bloomed with bringing us all these messages from Baba to Norina, and wow, and all the other beautiful people that I never met and I could never meet, and I don't have the money to come and to meet, and I'm meeting all these beautiful souls, and Baba is giving me that gift, and I'm so thankful. So
Jay Baba.
Jai Baba, thank you.
It is true, the connections we're making is phenomenal, but also the ability to really deeply learn. I mean, I'm learning new things every day, as I imagine you all are, but there's the ability to really get in depth with, say, the guzzles, or, up to now, you don't encounter that many Baba people on a daily basis under normal circumstances, and suddenly here we are, we're thrown together. If you have an interest in something, there's a recording of it, and then if you want to attend live, then you can really ask questions. And it's amazing how much deeper we're getting into every book, and then this book is feeding into that book, and then that understanding is actually translating into more. It's phenomenal how many interwoven ways this community has actually gotten more advantage of each other than just the average. I think that, up to now, the average Baba Center would have a sort of once a week, or, possibly more. Obviously, in India, they'd have, as much as every day, but the depth with which we can delve into things just teaching each other, not some expert come to tell you about God speaks, but you tell us what you think. And out of that comes a mutual support in growth, rather than, a listening passive reception of other people's Baba stories, or other people's knowledge, or other people's erudition. So it's exciting. It's exciting that we have the potential for sort of like a Baba University, a continuing ed. Yeah, in all sorts of ways, not just intellectually, but in love and in giving. John, you had your hand up.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Um, I'm John. I live in Maine, and it's raining and snowing and all that other stuff. And I would consider myself a virtual loner. There's only about, I think, 5 people in the whole state of Maine that profess to be connected to Baba. So So yeah, the Zoom stuff is miraculous at this point in time. Well, I'm really grateful for. Yesterday was well, this whole season is this whole life at this point is tough. Throw on the holiday season and crowds and which I don't want to be around. And I usually come down to Myrtle Beach. I would usually stay a month or two, but I'm not doing that for the past 2 years. So I'm sort of alone there. Anyway, so I requested this book from my library, which is an excellent library, and it hasn't even been open yet. Um, and it's about resilience. So I go and pick up the book, and they put them in brown paper bags, and so I'm in alphabetically R. So I pick up my bag, and I take out the book. Oh, it's a paperback, and I look at the cover. I don't know if you're familiar
Oh my goodness.
with the Baba
Wow, that's
painting of
Baba's
this.
picture. Wow.
It's by Winslow Homer, and it's called. Let me see if I can get it straight. It's called The Lifeline. The Lifeline. Now, the first time I saw this, I was at my one of my first Baba meetings up in Maine, and the Montagues, Daniel and Caroline, have this painting where the rescuer is Baba, and I wanted that painting so much. So I take out this book and I see this picture and I go, oh, oh, and instantly I know Baba's here. Not separated from me, not a loner, but he gives me the time to be with him in a different way, in a special way, I think. And I'm in such joy to have this picture on this book. The book stinks, but but the picture, it's very technical and studies and stuff like that. But the picture says it all to me. It says, "I am with you. I know what's going on. I'm your lifeline." And I'm got goosebumps just right now just to say that. Um, and holy mackerel, as a loner, it's a different experience. Um, there was one other fellow when I got to Maine who was a Baba person, but he went to the center maybe once or twice, and he was dying. And I remember I knew he was a Baba follower. He was from California when he met Baba, and his good friend who introduced him to Baba had him reading the discourses over and over and over again. So I went to see Donnie in the hospital room, and people were there, family, and they were sad. And he calls me over, and he whispers in my ear, "They don't understand." And I went, "Oh my God, this fellow is telling me how to leave this life." You know, he was not. He just said they don't understand. They're all grieving. They don't understand. And I'll never forget. I thought the guy was a clown when I first met him. That's me. That's my judgment. But I will never forget Donnie and how he was one of my teachers. Teaching me how to leave this earth here and on to the next adventure. So um, I hope this thing clears up so I can. Actually, my dream is to get to Australia. Um, and see Baba people over there. But we'll see what happens, one day at a time. And thank Baba, he's showing up for me. Thank you, everybody.
Very cool. Have you ever been to Australia?
Twice
Oh, yeah, yeah, I thought so.
on business, Melbourne, and outside in the country. And you know what happens? Even when I came to Baba at first, India was the last place on earth I would ever go to. I lived in New York, and it's like, don't even talk to me about going to India. And when I got into Baba and come to the center, people would say, "Oh, when you go to India," and I'd get mad. I'd really get mad. I'm not going to India, and stop saying this to me because it's not going to happen. Well, my second visit, I got into a discussion with this woman from England. I think she was a therapist, and it got a little testy on my part. And then she backed off and she said, "Oh, but when you go to India," and I went, my eyes went like this. She said, "You will meet the remaining Mandali." And the thoughts in a second said, I'm going to India. Because if I believe Baba's God, the Mandali are the disciples, the apostles. I have a chance, I'm getting goosebumps again, a chance to meet a living apostle. Bao was, I think, the only one there. Of course I'm going. Um, and previous to that, I would be in Barnes and Nobles, and I'd be in this travel section, and I'm picking up books about India. It's like, why am I picking up books? Why am I watching A Passage to India? You know. So now I'm loaded with Australian series and movies, and I'm enjoying them to the nth degree. So, he's pointing the way. And some people, my family doesn't understand it. It's when you get a calling, you have to go. You have to go. And the adventures of things almost life-threatening at times, but the calling and the fellow who's the lifeline protects, and I know that. So yeah, and I liked Australia. They speak the language. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, for those who don't know, John Ruiz is also a musician. He's a lot of fun. I wonder if we can squeeze a concert out of him.
I have some recorded stuff with
Mm-hmm.
video that I see you have YouTube lists. I
Yeah.
could point to that. As a matter of fact, one of the pieces I do is Ishtiaki, and I know that Rosalie is one of the people who sings Ishtiaki. Um, so I could point you to that, and if you want to put that on. Um, I'm a little concerned about live sound. Sound is important to me, and I don't know how good this sound is. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll
But
point.
here on Baba Zoom, we're all about the live because there's a heart quality.
I see. Yeah. Well, we'll
Anyway.
we'll, we'll consult with the life rescuer.
Yeah, that's it.
See if it's a calling. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll put a request into the boss.
the boss. I like to do the concerts live down at the center. You
Yes.
know, to read the room, to get the energy, and tell stories. And well, maybe I could do the same.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I might add something. When you were saying that all these meetings, it's so amazing because each one of us would be in one Baba meeting every so long. I don't know how everyone was. And here we are, daily meetings. I mean, I'm not in daily meetings, but it's possible to be in a daily meeting, a daily Baba meeting. Isn't that amazing? I mean, and Sahavas. I mean, that's Sahavas, because Baba is so much here. And it's daily, daily. Wow.
And even all day long.
Yeah, even more than once. Yeah. And you were so right when you said, it's so very right when you said that it's not the experts or the masters that are coming to teach us, it's actually each one of us has a chance to express what they have experienced and learned and sought and loved, and in what Baba is giving. So it's not like I have not come to teach but to awaken. It's not like
Yeah.
someone is there up there because he is on some pedestal. of knowledge and of ability. But yes, so it is a really nice way of getting together if it is given a chance by the hosts, by of course. So I am enjoying that, because I find that it's so widening my scope when I'm hearing other people, what they think and how they think and how they see things and how they see the text and how they love this part of expression of Baba in this world, or this part. And it's really enriching me in ways that I would not be able to be enriched just by um, my own abilities. So it's so enriching, and it is. And what is more is that so much love and support. And you don't have to be a master. You don't have to be perfect. You can sing, and you can not be the best singer, and you can talk, and you don't have to be the best talker, and you can express your thoughts, and they don't have to be very smart. It's okay, so it's very friendly to the user, and very how do you call it when someone is very accepting of others? How do you call it? Tolerance, supportive and loving tolerance. And I think that would be so pleasing to our beloved, because that's what he was. That's how he is with us. We are not perfect. He's tolerating. He's tolerating us with such love, knowing so well what we are really not good at, where we are really, really failing, what we really can't still do. And yet he loves us so much, and he knows truly, truly who we are, even more than we do. So he's really tolerant. Thank you, Baba.
Yeah. What you say reminds me of I had I had occasion to listen to the twins speaking about going, attending the same school that Baba attended, and some whatever it was, 50 years later, whatever, like 30 years, whatever it is. I don't remember the years. Anyway, there was going to be, so they graduated, and they knew about Baba as an important personage, the school did, and they invited the twins to ask Baba to attend as a speaker for the school's whatever it was, centennial or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like one of those big moments. They were going to have a celebration of their anniversary, and so Baba says that he won't attend, but he'll send a letter or something like that, and it could be read out, something to that effect. And the amazing thing was that Baba wrote a letter. I mean, to me, who grew up with education is key, Chinese upbringing, you know what I mean? Education, everything, and a degree, and, good living, and, all these things. And it's like, what Baba wrote. I totally have to paraphrase, but it was such a shock to me to hear this. He said something to the effect of that, yes, your mission is fine and dandy, but the real education is the education of the heart. The real purpose of life is to express that love. That essentially all this learning and all these degrees and all this thing is essentially meaningless. And I was I really got some perspective from that, that anything that I do as far as, is Angela actually healing anybody with acupuncture? No. Is my degree meaningful? Am I a doctor of this? Nah, no. I mean, call me Angela, please. You know what I mean? Like, it was, it was very, very consistent with everything else Baba says. And sometimes, we as humans, we build up little categories that Baba means that here, but not really there. You don't really think about the fact that you've put this on this side and you put that on that side. And in fact, Baba means this for everything, that like it's Baba's will that you pass exams, and it's Baba's will that you get a degree, and it's Baba's will that you make a living in this way or not. And it's also Baba's will that none of that is essentially important. All that is really important is the love and the serving and the hopefully learning to forget ourselves a little bit and maybe finding something bigger underneath all that, including including doctorate degrees and all of that. Yeah, it was very it's very useful to think of that you would go to an educational institution and your big grand moment, where you're celebrating years of fine education, and this is what Baba says. I love it. Yeah.
Well, I have something I'm really grateful for. Not only the incredible transition from West Coast to East Coast, and the truly Baba full greeting that I've gotten here. And so many people have stopped by, and it's just been amazing. But this week, I want to read you something that came in the Hyderabad newsletter that I read at RT. Well, actually, Prasad read at RT. I mean, not Prasad.
Prakash.
Prakash, thank you. Prakash read at RT because he just intuitively knew that was the one I was looking for, and Baba kept deleting it out of my inbox whenever I would try to open it. It was so funny, and then he comes up and reads it. But I wanted to read this, share it now, if that's okay, because this really affirmed for me everything I've been feeling over the past 2 years about what this is all about, this whole COVID thing and this whole change, all of these changes that we've been going through, what Baba is asking of us. And I felt very strongly that it has to do with, tuning in through our intuition. I agree with a lot of what Rosalie's been talking about. So let me just read some of this. It's called People Constantly Interacting on Inner Spheres. And this is Baba's words. Whether they desire it or not, all persons are constantly acting and interacting upon each other by their very existence, even when they do not establish any contact on the physical plane. There are no limits to the spreading of the influence of the individual. The magnetic influence of the subtle spheres knows no barriers of national frontiers or any other conventional limitations. Good thoughts as well as evil thoughts, cheerful moods as well as gloomy moods, noble and expansive feelings as well as petty and narrow emotions, unselfish aspirations as well as selfish ambitions. All these have a tendency to spread out and influence others, even when they are not expressed in words or deeds. The world of mental life is as much a unified system as the world of gross matter. The gross world as a vehicle of spiritual life has its own indubitable importance, but the links and connections existing between different persons can by no means be fully estimated if one merely considers the tangible transactions that take place in the gross world. And if anything is proof of that, Zoom is. Baba Zoom is, right? And I look forward as we move further and further closer that even words will not be necessary. I mean, it seems so obvious that's what Baba's leading us to, that we'll be able to communicate more directly. And I find that very exciting. So I'm grateful to see that it's happening and that we are all participating in it. Jai Baba.
Yeah, here. The
Yeah,
time of
that's
intuition. Go
That was
ahead,
from the
Prasad.
discourses, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a beautiful discourse. I think Orang read it, if I remember correctly. But you know what I'm grateful for is the tea in the morning that Baba provided. But um, I think the two biggest things that I'm grateful for definitely are his name and the ability to give whatever we want. Not we want, but whatever we are going through, the ability to just give it to him. And Baba helping us to do that is really, I think those two are the most meaningful things in life for me. And definitely these Zooms meetings have helped me uncover that more and more. Through effort and grace and late night chats and all the other meetings that we have in here that allow us to zoom into each other and helping us to zoom into Baba's influence on us or his work on us is really something that really have helped me. Yeah, I have a article from Flowing Conversations that that has really had a big impact on me, and I never forgot. I read this many years back, but I never forgot this. It's a bit longish, so I don't know if I should read the whole thing or not. It's about 3 pages long. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. This is called Everything is a Gift. And it's a Balnatha and Baba conversation, of course. My old school chums and I were together on a special summer outing, a class reunion of sorts. During and after lunch, we shared many stories and funny anecdotes from our lives since we had been in school together. It was a delightful gathering and I really enjoyed myself. When I returned home, I felt happy, but soon something began to bother me. Many of my friends were leading, quote, successful lives and had made brilliant advances in their careers. It occurred to me, what special thing have I accomplished in my life? I have been leading a very simple and ordinary life, and I have not contributed anything outstanding to society. I felt disappointed with myself. I knew I should be proud of and happy for my former schoolmates, but I couldn't shake my feeling of failure when I compared myself to them. For the rest of the day, I felt depressed and worthless. But when this mood reached a somber crescendo, the curtain parted and I felt a loving presence fill the room. The next moment I saw you, your eyes glowing like splendid stars. Are you in need of my help? You asked with a look of concern. Yes, of course. You always know when I need you, and now I am feeling troubled that I have made no special contributions to society as my friends have. Do you really want a place of respect in society? Well, I'm confused about that. Why do you compare the qualities you happen to have with those of others? With the proper perspective, you will see that your qualities enrich your life in bringing you closer to me. How is that? I asked. I'll tell you a story that will help you understand. One day after drinking water, an antelope was standing on a rock, looking at the reflection of his face in the water. He was so charmed looking at his antlers that he thought that no one else in the world could have such beautiful antlers as his. He felt very, very proud. Then he happened to look down at his hoofs, which appeared to him so ugly that he even thought of blaming God for having so little discrimination as to give him such hoofs. Just then he heard from a distance the galloping of a horse carrying a hunter. Overcome by fear, the antelope jumped down from the rock and started running. The hunter followed him on the horse, but the antelope ran faster. After going some distance, coming into a forested area, the antelope got his antlers caught in the branches of a tree, and this turned his head around. He was now facing the hunter, seeing him draw closer with his bow and arrow drawn. As the antelope disentangled himself and ran away, he had the realization: what got me in this dangerous situation were my antlers, which I had admired, and what really saved me from it, my hoofs, which I despised. So he begged God's pardon for doubting his judgment. The beautiful antlers and the ugly hooves both played their parts to make the life of the antelope full. Be thankful to me for whatever form you have, and begin to realize that whatever your inherent qualities, they hold their own significance and purpose in your onward journey to me. Instead of bewailing your fortune, invoke me to reveal in your own heart my wisdom in giving you your particular form and attributes. Although I was awakened to a new understanding, I was still unsure about my own situation. Hearing you tell this story with your deep concern for me, I was inspired to speak freely. It is because of the intimacy I feel with you that I dare to ask if you are saying these words simply to appease my mind, I said. I immediately felt sorry and expected your eyes to flash with disapproval. But instead, you answered me tenderly. Is the sky ever afraid of how high a mountain may raise? Similarly, why would I get upset by your doubts, however high they may soar? Don't suppress them. Be honest, let them be aired in my all-forgiving presence. Likewise, do not get scared by unwanted thoughts unexpectedly assailing you. Drown them all in the ocean of my compassion. Remember, when I forgive, it is total. And then a feeling of greater trust in me will be awakened in you. I felt ashamed that I had questioned why you told me the story. I hadn't expected this of myself, to say such things to you, whom I strive to please. What kind of worthless fellow am I asked. Once you come to me, there is no question of being worthless. I will not let you go astray, though in the eyes of the world you may be considered a failure. As time passes by, with this understanding, you will feel my help more and more. Know well that whenever you suffer, I too suffer in you. I saw a look of pain in your eyes as you said this, and I was awed by your love for me. You continued, try to make your heart receptive to the greater trust I wish to repose in you. Then gradually you will develop the attitude and perspective of accepting what happens to you as my wish. This attitude will also help you to see the brilliant, luminous canvas that is always around you. What's this, a canvas? Yes, let me tell you another story about how our limited perspectives influence the way we see the world. In a certain forest, there was a little house where an illumined teacher, leading a simple life, held classes. Sometimes he would bring home the basic truths of life through figures or symbolic stories to those who would gather there. One day he hung on a wall a roll of white canvas on which he had painted a small black dot. As he unrolled the canvas, he asked the group, "What do you see?" All in chorus, they answered, "A black dot." The teacher shook his head. "No, you are wrong." Astounded, they asked, "How is that, dear master?" Looking at all, the teacher responded with a question. "Don't you see the bright white canvas surrounding the tiny black dot?" "Yes," they all said. And then he explained, "In the world, there are so many lovely and positive things around us. But instead of appreciating those good qualities and happenings, we concentrate on the little troubles and difficulties that we have to go through. When we focus on ourselves and our own suffering, we become oblivious to the little joys and delights that are smiling at us. If only we could develop loving gratitude for the many beautiful things around us instead of dwelling on the black dot." A genuine teacher, no? You asked with a smile. "That is a wonderful lesson to learn," I responded. "To see the glass half full instead of half empty." "Yes, and one day I will fill your cup to overflowing," you assured me. "When?" I eagerly inquired. "Don't ask," you said, affectionately looking at me. That very moment I felt you were already pouring love into me. What a wondrous feeling. Remember, you are mine. If you look to the world, there is no end to what you could or would do. If you lean only on me, you will achieve everything in your own time, without envying what others have accomplished. By serving and living for me, you are serving the whole world. It is like a rose that blossoms in the garden and naturally exudes a beautiful fragrance for all other living things around. Just like the rose, by living your life basking in my sunshine, my fragrance will be delightfully enjoyed by others through you. Tears of love and relief gathered in my eyes. You offered me a lovely fresh maroon rose that you took from the pocket of your gown. You gazed deep into my eyes and then departed. I held the rose in my hand, and it seemed as though you had not gone, but had merged into it. Rooking at that charming flower, I felt that the occasions of your appearing in forms before me were only a humorous ruse to unveil to me the real nature of your formless, timeless existence. As I inhaled the fragrance, I was drowned in your presence. The perfume wafted away the thoughts and feelings that I had harbored about needing to achieve something special in the world. A moment later, the thought occurred to me: having a relationship with you is what really matters. I should look at the canvas of your presence around me instead of concentrating on the black dot of my ordinariness or what I have not achieved. All that I need in my life, you have already given me and continue to give me. I should accept my life as your gift and be satisfied with whatever I am. Even my so-called ugly hooves are really helping me, for they are what I need in my journey to you. The joy of your visit inspired in me a new resolve to wholeheartedly accept the way I live in the world as your wish. Relaxing in the presence of your love, I felt my resistance melting like ice in warm water. Every moment you offer me a precious new gift, and every gift from you ushers in a renewing moment. Jai Baba.
So which book of vow? Which one
This
is
is
that?
this is Balna to Flowing Conversations.
Flowing conversation.
What a beautiful essay. Very well written.
Yeah, beautiful, very beautiful.
And wonderfully read.
Yeah, thank you, Meher.
So that one was that his last book? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the fourth in the series.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Yeah. Mm.
Well, I need to go. I have so much to do. And it's been just delightful being with you this morning, and I'm very grateful for all of you.
Oh,
And
she's
I will see
frozen.
you soon. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
And I froze, just as I froze.
Thank you for your share.
You can freeze in Myrtle Beach.
You too. Yeah, so we just, it was a very loose conversation, Molly, about gratitude and appreciation for Baba, and we just followed the train of thought wherever it led us, and no structure. So if there's anything you'd like to share, or anybody else, the floor is open.
Yeah, I wanted to
Molly-
share. Pardon?
Molly was going to share, sorry. She was going to
Who? I don't know what you're talking about.
Molly, were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah. Briefly. I'm sorry I got here so late. I really enjoyed the one that I did previously. So I don't have any big thing to share, but I do encourage you to continue these. I think they're really helpful. Okay. Jai Baba.
Thanks for that validation. It gets a little bit weird for me to think like, what's gonna happen. But yeah, to just step out in faith, and whatever conversation happens, it's all good, right?
Right.
And it's so joyous to
Yes,
come with that gratitude and appreciation to Baba.
that's right. We have to keep summoning that gratitude and appreciation. That's sort of the antidote to everything, isn't it?
It is. It is. And on some level, isn't it easy for those who are not actively engaged in this conversation? We can take Baba for granted, just like what Meher Prasad was reading about, how basically God is the substance in which we swim, like fish swimming in water. We don't realize that the water is everything, like everything. So we can take it for granted.
Yeah. I guess that's our expansion is our direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we grow.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. You're very welcome. Rosalie.
Um, yeah, I would say I'm remembering back something that a Baba friend sent me. It was there's a woman somewhere in the United States, and she talks to plants. That's her gift. And someone says, well, why don't you talk with Corona? I call it Corona because COVID is like it goes into the vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers. Corona is, that's how I see what has happened with that. And when she talked to Corona, Corona said, "I'm not your enemy. Your civilization was racing faster and faster." And I don't know if she said this, but it could not catch up with the technology. It's like the same thing that I felt when I heard a long time ago of Manly Palmer Hall, who Bubba said was on the fifth plane. So he was someone that I liked listening to. He said, if computerization isn't given moral direction, it will be worse than mega atom bombs going off. So I think we're at that point. I, as so many, have been hacked through computerized type of thing. And so this is the good side of it, that we can congregate and share, our highest ideal, our connection with God as we see him as presently Meher Baba. So that's one thing that I would say. Yeah, it's I also would say I'm very grateful for the immediacy of this present tool, because as far as I can see, the worldwide confusion and chaos is mounting higher, and like Baba said, no one is to blame. So what I'm comforted in is, for me presently, is the mystical language, because he said, don't change a word of it. And one of the things, not constantly, but one of the things Baba said through the mystical language, he says, let the world see the dual show of destruction as the mercy game. M, capital M, capital G, in realization of truth. Let the mind be calm. And he says that a lot in the mystical language. Let the mind be calm and the heart see free. Life is good as it is. Life is good as it is. Life is real as it is. Life is my work of realization. So, I guess I feel like a lot of people in the world must feel, because I feel there's a lot of fear, tremendous fear. What's going to happen? A lot of people talking Armageddon and things like, that's pretty extreme. Armageddon is extreme. Who wants to be a part of Armageddon? To be honest, no, you don't want to be wiped out. We don't want to lose our egos. So why would we want Armageddon? But I feel this constant every day for me. I'm online. I don't cherish the energy of being online, but it's very valuable now. So I use my other help so that I don't feel odd, staring at a screen, but I think it's critical right now, because we have not a clue which way it's going to go. And I don't think that 3/4 that has been mentioned several times is not out of possibility of things happening. You know, what Baba will do what he has to do, you know. And I know as far as Armageddon, someone put me in touch with the question being brought up in Mandalay Hall with Erich. And Erich said, Armageddon is the business of the creator. It's not our business. And that kind of settled it for me, you know, because people couldn't profit off the, you know, fear. And I've seen that happen, you know. And so anyway, gratitude, I feel gratitude that because I find little charm in this form of communication, that Baba has pretty well insisted that I use this form for the present time, you know. And this total contact, like say with Baba's life, the realness of it that it's bringing, you know, this is constant, whether through Lord Mayhair or Mara Mayhair or you know, it's like converging for me in a wonderful way. But it's very flip and easy to say, you know, God takes human form, but you know, sort of to feel it. It's getting more to the point of feeling it, because we have all this apartness from other people because of this. I won't say, I can't blame it all on the virus. It's divisiveness. People are very into their opinions, you know, both sides. And like Baba says, and I love to do it like this, no one is to blame. What had to happen has happened. What has to happen will happen. There is no way out except through my coming in your midst, and he's already come. So, you know, but, you know, I wouldn't box myself into the role of, I would say my you know, the universe is flooding, Baba's flooding the universe with hope and light. That I don't question. But I would say for me, I'm most grateful because Baba has promised intuition, and that's what I want. And I know it was clear this morning. You know, it was back in 1971, and I was learning about Baba. I was in a Sufi camp in Cochise stronghold in Arizona. And, you know, we'd do chants, and we did this one chant. We're going up a hill, very hot place. It's June, it's hot, you know, kind of like India, you know. And we're going to Om Mani Padme Om, and chanting all the way up the hill. So I lay down when I get at the top of this hill, and I hear my voice thunderously loud. And I sat up in this tall grass. I mean, there are other people around, but I thought no one can say my voice that loud. That I'm looking around. And then I know when I came to, it was just my name, just Rosalie. And I don't hear that name that often anyway. Even growing up, I think there was one person that had that name. It's like, so so on my birthday at the same camp, they're doing a play, The Quest of the Holy Grail. And it's a beautiful play. It's right on my birthday. And my friend sends me a postcard with Baba Namaste saying, "You and I are not we but one." So it was so bullseye. It was right on my birthday. It's Cochise's stronghold because he didn't want the United States cavalry to annihilate him. So it was well hidden, So anyway, this postcard comes right into my hand when I'm watching the Holy Grail play. And I thought, oh my God, this is just too much. So, and then this particular Sufi order, it was, I don't know the name of it, but it was the son of Inayat Khan, one of the sons. I don't know, maybe he might have had two. Vilayat Khan is his name. And so anyway, we're all under this tent. It's very hot still. And he's saying, tonight, wait. And it was very funny because I'm raised Catholic, and he had a cassock, what they call a cassock. It's kind of like a sadra. It's kind of like a Western sadra that priests wear, where they have trousers underneath, but it's more like a dress, kind of a bit of a dress. And he was very handsome. And he says, tonight, I will initiate those who wish to be initiated. And I like the Sufis, and they had Sufi dancing, and they believe in past lives, and on and on. And I loved Inayat Khan, his poetry. So I thought, I'll be initiated. And that voice was there. Bingo, it says use discrimination, So I went that night, and, I'm Catholic. I'm used to ceremonies, and there was no indication to be initiated. And then he says, the next initiation will be in the Chamonix in France. And I thought, oh, I'll go to France. It was really kind of funny. I mean, Baba was like baiting me. And so at any rate, I go back to Berkeley. They knew of this person that they felt was a saint. And I thought, yeah, I'll go see this person, see what they have to say. So I went to this person in San Francisco on my way back, and she goes, she says, your name is the right one for you. Rosalie is so interesting. And she says, there will be a group for you. I really wasn't looking for a group because, I'm raised Catholic, like, wow, I was raised very Catholic. I mean, my mother would even say, never come home and tell me that you don't like something the priest or the sister, the nun would say, because I will tell you the same thing. So it was kind of like, ooh. It kind of went into a more of a quiet mode as far as religion, Anyway, I'm going on and on, but Baba, I also was at a meeting also in San Francisco, and I remember the man's name because I like funny names, Wally Ollie, and it was a fun name. And he actually ended up my friend because he didn't let me talk to Belayat. He says, you can't talk to him. He has to come to you. And I thought that was weird. Like I thought, he's right there and I'm here. And I've come and I'm at this retreat with 200 people, but he's not busy. Anyway, so Wally Ollie was the one that prevented me even meeting him. That was good, you know. And, you know, and also, this is very funny. They did the dance of the planets. And they say Neptune. And I thought, I know Neptune. And I got out and I love dancing. And Wally Ollie came and he had me by the elbow. And he said, I said, why are you doing that? He says, you're not doing Neptune. I says, my Neptune is afflicted. Anyway, I'm grateful for my humor.
Jay,
I
Baba.
have to say, and Baba
It's
has,
funny story.
yeah, really. I mean, and it's like true, and it's like, but I see that more and more. It's like the flood of grace. Little structures will be, you know, whatever our little structures we want to make are going to be whoosh. One of my favorite Baba quotes was, I memorized it, I love it. It says, the time is rapidly approaching when a tidal wave will rise up out of the ocean of grace. Then the usual process by the waters in the rivers flow into the ocean will be reversed. And the ocean waters will rush through the riverbeds. And I say, well, like we're all like, we have our little capacity, but when that ocean, and this is a flood tide. This is the ocean of grace now. So you know, yeah.
Jay Baba.
Yeah, Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki Jay.
DJ. Look up. Like Daddy in the sign language, he says, the wind.
I like that, the wind and singing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if others don't have anything to share,
I want
I'm gonna-
one thing to say.
Yeah,
I want one
please.
thing short to say on all the things that I said. You see, Rosalie and me, we live alone. So, we don't have people to talk to except Baba, you know, that
It's a
I'm
beautiful
talking to
thing to have
constantly.
this.
So when we get an audience, we speak.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I
It's wonderful.
understand Rosalie completely, and I'm like that too sometimes. But I wanted to say something very short this time. What I like about Baba throughout his books and his stories about him, he kept making sure that he will win every game, whatever he played with, cricket or marbles or any game. He made sure that he will win. Even the last Satara game, where there were 10 people in one group, 10 people in the other group, he was the 11th one in each group, and each one won because they had a tie. So what I understand from that, Baba is saying, I'm going to win this game. Armageddon, no Armageddon, I'm going to win this game. So be sure that I'm going to win this game. So I do sympathize with you, Rosalie, completely. I don't want to be in Armageddon. I've been telling Baba that for a long time. I think even before I knew Baba, that I realized that this place is just in a mess. I said, oh, I don't belong to here. But what I think is Baba is so clever. He's so wonderful. He finds ways of doing things. And Armageddon was already proclaimed for many times, many ages. And Baba had another thought about it. So whatever he has in plan, I'm all for it. If he wants to bring Armageddon, I believe in him. I trust him. I don't want to be here, and I hope you'll take me away. But he's going to win. So I think that is what is very important to remember. He's going to win in us, and he's going to win in the world. And he is about to do that.
Oh, I love that.
It was beautiful to have this. It was beautiful to have it in intimacy, in such intimacy. I do agree with Molly. It's a good thing to have.
Meher, you had something?
It's funny because I have to say that brought that mystical language of bingo, and you know, It says, see me live in you in small ways of life, the everyday ritual of selfless harmony. The unsatisfied element in you is God, not dissatisfied. Unsatisfied element in you is God that needs you to be like Him. And this one has puzzled me, but unsatisfied humor is God when winning in you the dual show of I. It's right there. So I'm hot on this trail. I'm hot on the trail. Yeah.
Mayhair had her hand up.
I got something to say. I got something from Hafiz just now. The dark night of the world. Hafiz, the dark night of the world is upon us, and we see no light. Has anyone anywhere ever before encountered such a sight? The frogs are in the water, the temperature is approaching boiling. The frogs don't seem to mind through. Obviously, the world is rolling. Man has turned the vengeance to everything within the nearest sighted view. Destroying the earth is species all things good and beautiful in you. Miraculous modern medicine can't keep pace with the man spawns. Miraculous modern wafer kills cities. Miraculous modern wafers kill cities without scorching the lawns. Management counts obscene millions as the world's. Poor count the grief. Hate divides each place, stealing life's inherent joy of common thief. Each is the fears of dark whirlpool of death, yet life's life darker still. Impression, greed, lust, and anger drown every moment with their swill. Hafiz, I'm sure you have informed the I don't know how to say it, Herchi of the disaster. The only way out will prove to be the hem of a perfect master, Hafiz.
Wow,
Beautiful.
strong. Wow, very strong. Thank you, Mary.
A beautiful way to close this meeting.
No, let's say something hopeful, please. Something hopeful.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, anyone. I said that Baba said that he's going to win. He's going to win,
Yes,
and he has
he will
much
win.
humor. He has such big heart, such beauty, such love, and he asked all the mandali. He said, he described how it's going to be, and they said they didn't want to be in that time
Yeah.
either. Yeah, he said from Krishna's time, I have told about this Kali Yuga, and they said, please don't bring us into the Kali Yuga. But when he asked them, what do they think? If there be this big destruction, or if there will be small flares of fire here and there, and that's what they chose, and that's what they said they rather have. So maybe Baba is doing that, and yes, because in Hafiz time, if he said that the destruction of the world was in Hafiz time, it wasn't. And all the messiahs that came and went and also said that it would be destruction, but it wasn't, because God has such a heart. He set such a heart, such a loving heart, that when he saw what was happening, he was crying. And so I think that he, whatever, I trust him.
There's only that. We can't know. We have to trust him. Yeah.
I hope you trust him.
We have no choice.
Yeah.
Jai Baba, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.
But
Jay.
I have to say, all of